What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about 3 things that college coaches look for in wide receivers. We're going to be talking about 3 things that you can do if you don't specifically pass that quote-unquote eye test. You're not 6 foot whatever, you're not 200 whatever pounds, you don't run a 4 whatever 40. Obviously, those things 100% help, and those things definitely do matter, but we're going to be talking about some of the things that you can do to separate yourself from guys that have that leg up in size, speed, whatever it might be, and how you guys can widen that gap with your skill level, okay? But also, fellas, if you guys are a wide receiver and you want to take your entire game to that next level and you want to know exactly what you need to be able to do the specific exercises to get more explosive, to improve your speed, to improve your overall route running as a whole, check out that very first link in the description. It's our ultimate wide receiver training package. Everything wide receivers need to take their game to that next level. We have a full month-long gym program, a full step-by-step guide on everything about the wide receiver position. So again, very first link in the description, fellas. Hope we get you guys on that soon. Hope it'll give you some value. Let's get started. So first things first, you hear Nick Saban talk about this a lot when he talks about his receivers, and that's wide receiver U, obviously, is the ability to be able to self-fade and get in and out of breaks cleanly. So that's the first couple things that we're going to be talking about here. So now, Tyreek Hill in this clip, obviously, I want you guys to ignore the fact that he's probably one of the fastest humans on the planet, right? So the thing about this route is that everybody at that next level is going to be fast, right? So you got to be able to bring something to the table, speed and athleticism. Why? People ask me a lot like, hey, well, what if I'm a slow wide receiver? You got to get faster. It's just, you're not going to be able to play at that next level if you don't bring something to the table. I'm not saying you got to be a 4-4 guy, but I'm saying you got to be able to bring something. And then when you have that something and you could actually, you're sub, like whatever, maybe like a sub, like as a receiver, maybe a sub 4.7, maybe 4.8. I don't know exactly what that number is, but let's say you got a little bit of speed to yourself. Your route running speed is totally different. What you need right here when you're this route is that you got to be able to sell vertical, and this is what guys are looking for. Can they get into a break without giving that indicator and raising their pad level up and slowing their feet down and dropping their arms? Can they actually push vertical? Can they actually run and actually and move this DB off that block? That's what we're looking for, especially on routes downfield. There's nothing better as a coach when you have a receiver who can get a DB to do this, who can turn his hips and actually run. So if you guys can showcase that on your film, on your highlight tape, because that's what gets you recruited, right? All this 7-on-7 bullshit, all these street agents, NCSA, whatever, all that stuff, whatever that shit you might be, whatever you guys might have, at the end of the day, it's what you can show on film and what you can show when you get in front of a coach. And if you get in front of a coach and maybe let's say you don't have film, but you can showcase all these things, you're more likely to get an opportunity, whether that opportunity is a walk-on or whatever it is. But this is the stuff that they're going to be looking for at that next level, right? Because you see, all the elite level guys can do stuff like this. They can get a DB to this position because solely off of their body language, solely off of just how they're pushing vertical, right? A couple things. Don't got to be the fastest guy in the field, but you got to stay in stride. You can't slow down your feet. Don't got to be the fastest guy in the field, but your eyes got to be straightforward to really make this DB believe it. And lastly, but not least, you got to have a good pad level. That pad level's got to be going forward to make this DB think, man, shit, this guy's going vertical. I know I got him. I'm going to go over the top. I'm going to be running full speed because I don't want to get beat deep. As a receiver, you want to be a vertical threat no matter what you're doing on the field, from a slant route to a 15-yard stop route like this. I got to be a vertical threat no matter what I do. And this is a perfect example of that from Tyreek Hill. Great job pushing vertical until the last possible second, because this sudden break right here, this sudden drop of your hips, no DB, I don't care how good you are, can prepare for that without an indicator, right? He's going to automatically be dropping after us. That's why a DB is such a hard position, because you see how many steps we've already taken before he's thinking about coming out of this break, right? Now that's the key right there. Can I drop suddenly? Can I have no indicators to where this DB has no clue when I'm going to make this break? And then I pop this thing off and create that energy with my hips, and I'm able to get back to the ball. And that's what we're going to be talking about next. So again, first thing that college coaches are going to look for, how smooth is this guy into the break? Does he raise his pad level up? Does he have to slow down to make any kind of change of direction? When you're a bigger guy, like let's say you pass the eye test, right? Let's say you're a 6'4", like X or Z receiver, right? And they see you maybe like slowing down a little bit into breaks. They're probably going to be like, okay, we can work with that because he's 6'4". But let's say you're 5'11", maybe 5'10". They got plenty of those guys. You know what I'm saying? They're recruiting from 50 states. So if you can't showcase this and you don't pass that eye test, how do you expect them to take a chance on you? You got to be at that next level with all the little details about every aspect of your game if you're trying to get on any coach's radar when you don't pass that quote-unquote eye test. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. So great job by Hill pushing vertical, not giving any indicators of his pad level, and having that sudden drop to where the DB doesn't react. So now, this is going to be a clip here. This is going to be a diamond release slant, and we're going to be talking about now the break point. This is what guys look for at the break point. Can they eliminate wasted time at the top of the route? So let's watch this diamond release here, right? So he takes 3 steps on the diamond, breaks this thing off that accelerates back to the slant, right? So the mistake a lot of guys will make right here is that when they make that break, they'll do exactly what this receiver does, because you guys know you want to commit your shoulders, you want to commit your hips, you want to have speed to the break. We already talked about all that stuff, right? We already talked about those little details of selling the route and getting this DB to turn his hips and open up. Now, the key to this, the key to being able to get separation from this is that what happens at that break point. Because you see, when he makes that third step cut, what a lot of guys will do here is they'll cut off of this third step and then they take extra steps. They'll break right here and then they go this step, this second one will be like right here. Then he'll take a third step and sometimes even a fourth and a fifth step. And meanwhile, that DB's already speed turning out of it. He's already recovered. He's already on your hip and he's going to make a play on this ball. So having this smoothness at the top of the break is what guys are going to be looking for. Again, if you get in and out of breaks smooth and you could get to the spots we need you to be, that's a recruitable aspect of a receiver, right? Everybody loves to talk about the size and the height and all that crap, but it's like, dude, if guys like, you watch guys like Edelman, guys that are short, right? Guys like Antonio Brown, they're such technicians in what they do, and all the details and all those aspects of their game is down to a T. They're very strategic. They're on the same page as their quarterback, everything, and that's going to be continued what we're going to talk about in the later parts of this video, but these little details get you that separation from the DB to where your size doesn't necessarily matter in those situations. Right now, when he makes this break right here, when he goes 1, 2, 3, that break is sudden. He's pushing off that and he's opening up that inside hip for his second step to already be down that 45-degree angle on a slant. That's completely eliminating any wasted time at the top of the break. So for you smaller guys, or just for anybody in general, if you're a taller guy, this is a way to stand out amongst the other 6'4" receivers that you got to go against. Or if you're super fast, a lot of guys have that track speed, but it doesn't translate well into their route running. It doesn't translate well into their actual game. These are the things that they're going to be looking for technique-wise. So it's eliminating steps at the top of a break, being able to get out of cuts smoothly, having that sudden foot, and being able to open up those hips. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job giving him that little move, 3 steps on the diamond, then popping this thing off, getting to that slant. So last thing we're going to be talking about is football IQ, right? So you look at all the elite guys. You hear this every damn week when you watch Sunday Night Football. You hear them talk about, oh, hey, this guy was a former quarterback, and that's why he's on such a good page. Like you see, every time the Chiefs play, they say that about Kelsey. Or every time the Patriots used to play with Edelman and Brady, they used to talk about Edelman knowing that, right? And it's like, you got to have that football IQ, especially, like I said, if you're maybe on the underside side. You got to be able to separate yourself in the classroom and be able to translate that classroom work. And what I mean by that is like film study, understanding the playbook, to the field and understanding your opponent, right? And what your opponent's not trying to do. So there's a perfect example. So we got an inside shade off man DB. Now watch what this receiver does. He's got to run a 10-yard out route. So he comes up here, gives him that move, then he breaks up to the out, and then he accelerates back out towards the sideline on this route. So now, there's a perfect example of knowing what to do, not a complicated move, knowing what to do and when to do it can get you some separation. So he's inside shade. So where's he trying to force you? To the sideline, right? He's trying to force you to the sideline. The sideline is his help, right? So if I were to just run this thing and run up to the sideline, he'd be all over my hip. I ain't getting any separation. You got to know what to do to be able to execute it. So we know, where does he not want to give up? He does not want to give up here. He doesn't have any help to the inside of the field. That's why he's inside shade. So if I just attack him, I can move him off that platform, no problem. But now maybe I mix it up a little bit. I attack that outside shoulder. I think he thinks he's got me. He's going to shuffle to the outside so he could turn and run with me. And then I threaten him to the inside. I throw my hip back to that inside because I know he's threatened by this. And if I could just get his feet to stop, then I could get some separation. And now you see this receiver also, he pushes up to the depth of the route. That's another one of those things. A quarterback needs you to be in specific spots, especially in today's offenses like the air raid. You got offenses with spread system. It's all about spots. It's all about getting to that spot so it sets up the play and you're in that throwing window for the quarterback. That's what we got to understand, that every route I make, I can't just make this DB fall and then just round up and run a shitty rest of the route. I got to actually run a good route, get up to the depth, be where the quarterback expects me to be at, right? But you got to have that mental IQ. You got to have that football IQ to be able to get that separation when maybe you don't pass that eye test, don't have the most speed in the world, right? But now let's put it all together. Let's say you do have that. Let's say you're a fast guy. Let's say you're explosive. Let's say you catch the ball well. You're good size. If you could put all these things together, that's what the difference is between just an average high school receiver and a great high school receiver. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job understanding the situation. You push to attack that outside shoulder. He's going to jump, threaten him to the inside just to get his feet to stop because that's where he does not want to give up. And then I'm off to the races. Watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job working that move, pushing up to the depth of that route, and then making this play. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. I always appreciate the feedback. And then also, fellas, Ultimate Wide Receiver Training Package. Everything you need to know about the wide receiver position, all bundled together in a whole month-long gym training program for receivers to get more explosive, get faster, improve their grip strength to help with their hands. So check out that very first link in the description. Hope we get you guys on that soon. I'll see you guys next time.